The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of UCW Radio, and this is your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Coparis. And I want to thank all of our listeners for the continued support just by listening to the show. Now, today on the show, we're going to have a very special guest. I'm honored to have her on the show. She was one of the most dominant forces in women's competitive martial arts for years. She made history, actually. She graces both film and TV screens internationally. And still, to date, she is part of a team that runs the largest martial arts tournaments in the United States. Now, before we bring her on the line, I have to give you some information. Listeners can actually call in when the show is live. Get a pen and write down the number. It's 323-215-1446. That's 323-215-1446. Even when the show is over, and you can actually leave a message. And I do listen to all the messages. And if you have a question for one of our guests, feel free to leave it, even if the guest is going to be on in a couple of weeks. If it's interesting enough, trust me, it will be played on for the show for all to hear. And also, if you're on Twitter, then shoot me out some questions or comments while we're live, and we'll read them off. You'll know who the guest is so that you can shoot them some questions. You can shoot them out. We'll pose the questions and hopefully get some answers. My Twitter name is Louis Velazquez. That's LouisVelazquez. Follow me and ask away. Now, without further ado, let's patch in one of the most iconic female martial artists in the world today, Miss Christine Bannon-Rodrigues. Hi, Christine. Welcome to UCW Radio, and I want to thank you in advance for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
That's good to hear. Chris, you're a martial artist first and foremost, but not just any martial artist. You are a world champion, and during your competitive days, you were ranked as one of America's top-rated women martial art competitors. Now, you went from the mat to Hollywood, and you've accomplished more in your lifetime than most martial artists hope to do. You've done a lot. Your credentials are off the charts. I know I'm missing a lot of it. I know that you've graced almost the cover of every martial arts, major martial arts, even smaller martial arts publications all over the world. But I think that what I want to do here is start at the beginning. So can you tell us what drove you into getting into martial arts, what drove you into this whole world?
Well, ironically, it was just an after-school activity. I had tried a lot of different sports. I had played basketball, played softball, figure skating, gymnastics, and I gave them all a good run and tried them, and, it didn't really appeal to me. I enjoyed sports, but there was nothing that really clicked, and a girlfriend of mine asked me if I wanted to join karate. Her brother was taking it with my husband at the time, and, I said, sure, I'll try it. And I don't know, we started the classes off, and within a year, she had quit, and I fell in love with it, and, I knew that was what I wanted to do.
Oh, it's just something that just came to you at that moment. You had like a revelation, I guess.
Yes, and, started into the competition realm, and, by the time I was an orange belt, so, I started, just trying to earn my black belt and get involved in the competition pretty early, so.
Oh, well, that's what drove you into getting into it. Now, I have to ask you, was there anything else beyond that, one individual or one circumstance that you can credit to pushing your desire further in martial arts? Because you've achieved a lot, so I think that's of interest.
Yes, once I got involved in it, no one really pushed me to get into it other than my girlfriend, but once I was involved in it, I definitely have to give credit to my husband as far as pushing me to the limit and helping me believe that I could achieve anything that I wanted to, and just helping me get out there and compete and win the local and then national and then international championships, and and then getting involved into the film industry. So he was the one that really pushed me. I think it's important to have someone who's really willing to work, but also someone willing to guide and coach you to that level.
No, without a doubt, you need not only the support behind you, but you also need a little more beyond that. That's Don Rodriguez, your husband, and he's a great guy. You're a world champion martial arts competitor. I mentioned that earlier. You're retired at this point, right?
Right.
From that area of martial arts, anyway.
Yeah.
You're deeply involved in the industry. What were some of your highlights during your competitive career?
I would definitely say, going into the World Championships was one of my highlights. The first one I went to was in Italy, in Venice, and I had won a gold medal in forms and a bronze in fighting. And once I had competed there, I said I didn't care if I competed at another local or a national event again. I just wanted to go back there. Competing against 80-plus countries was as close as you're going to get to, being in the Olympics. And, it was just so cool seeing all the different nationalities and, between the judges and the competitors that just, all speak different languages and have their own culture and everything. And it was just really, really fun to go against the very best person from every single country. Every country was allowed to bring in one competitor. Now I think they might be able to take two per division, but it was really fun. And so my goal was to go back and really wanted to win. I had won national titles in forms, fighting, and weapons in all three categories, but I wanted to do that at the World Championships. So that's what I set as a goal, and went back in England and achieved that. And then I think a lot of the different countries out there, some of them are very in the old age of where the women walk behind the men, and they don't get very much respect. And when I won the 3 gold medals, pretty much everyone was saying that it was a fluke thing, and it was a very odd, lucky thing that happened, and it could never be done again. And I had broken a world record because no one had ever accomplished that before, male or female. So when I heard that after I came home, it kind of got me aggravated and wanted me to go out and do it again and prove them all wrong. So I set that as a goal to go back again and do it again, and I did. I went back to the next World Championship 2 years later in Atlantic City and achieved that and won 3 more gold medals. So that was probably my highlight, is winning the 3, but then going back and doing it again.
Well, winning the 3, you made history. Doing it again, you became iconic in martial arts competition as far as the women's division is concerned, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And that was what, in 91 and 93?
Right.
Okay. Now, can you tell us what you're doing now? I know that you do a lot because you have a school, you train kids. How are you contributing to the growth of martial arts as it relates to the youth? Because I personally believe that is in anything in society. The youth is what you have to mold for the future. So,
right.
What are you doing in regards to that?
Well, just teaching the kids. We start kids as young as 3 years old, and all the way up. And it's not just teaching them how to kick and punch, but teaching them, about the peer pressure and just being their own person, and the discipline and the self-discipline of being able to know that they can achieve anything. I mean, I think it really makes a huge impact in their life as far as where they're going, and kids that might have been dropouts in school are off in the college becoming doctors and huge success. And I think it has a lot to do with what we do with them in the karate school and how we get their mentality and their thinking and keep them on track. And like I said, it's not just the kicking and punching that they're learning. They're learning the character development and everything else. So I find that very, very important, and I think it should be a necessity for all children to take martial arts. I wish we could do that.
I agree with you. A lot of people do mistake martial arts and say, well, I'm going to go learn how to hurt somebody. I'm going to learn how to defend myself. That's great. That's part of it. But that's, believe it or not, that's a small part of it.
Right.
Because it's a lifestyle. okay, where you condition yourself to be a better person, be a better human being, and achieve great things in your life. So I'm very happy to hear that you're doing that. I know you have been, but I'm glad that we spoke about that today, because maybe some people don't know that. But you are involved in a lot of tournaments, and you give a lot of opportunity to kids. And don't you run one of the largest tournaments in the country?
Yes, we do. We run the Ocean State Grand Nationals. That's held in April. Next one will be 2010 on the 9th and 10th. And, you know, we have well over 1,000 competitors. We have people come in from all different countries. And, you know, but everyone's got a fair shot, because you've got the beginner divisions, and they start as young as 5 and under divisions all the way up to the black belts and the master divisions. So, you know, it is a big event, and it's a big undertaking, and it takes pretty much all year to get ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big undertaking, but, you know, at the end of the day, your tournament year in and year out is successful without a doubt, and you do open the doors for a lot of youngsters to actually go and show their stuff, you know, and that's the segue to my next question, because you've either competed or trained young students that have competed in some of the top competitive martial arts tournaments in the country. And there are a few competitive martial artists that have come up in the tournament ranks over the past, I'm going to say, over the past 8 years, 7 years. Okay, and they find a home in Hollywood. Some examples include Ryan Pinkston, his brother Aaron, Taylor Lautner. These are all good kids, and they all, in my eyes, set a positive example for the youth, not only in martial arts, but in general. Now, what is your stance on the progression of a young student, even one of your young students, moving from the mat to Hollywood?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing, as far as when you have world champion or a national champion ability, and you're that good at the martial arts, getting in front of the camera, doing a fight scene, you know, is it's almost like someone teaching you, you know, a form, and you got to remember it in 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think we all have the ability to do that, and we can all really shine and show our skills in front of the camera. But I think the biggest thing is, once they ask you to read some lines and do some acting, I think that's where, you know, if you're really interested in getting involved in film work and stuff, that's something that you really need to work on, you know, go to school and have a coach or something like that and learn some acting skills, because that's kind of out of our realm, you know. I mean, the fight scenes and throwing a kick 2 millimeters close to somebody's face and stuff like that, that stuff, you know, no problem, you know.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, you know, and of course the fighting is a little bit different when it's on film, you know, it's a little bit different than we're used to, but once you learn the tricks of the camera angles and the different things, you know, that part's a lot of fun, you know. But when you get into the acting part, I mean, that's what I would definitely recommend anyone who's interested in getting involved with film work, is to pursue that. And also maybe, you know, pursue some different stunt training, so that if they ask you to take not just falling from getting hit, but, you know, a larger fall off something, so you know how to do a high fall, you know how to do some of the different techniques. There's also wire work. A lot of times they'll wire you to be able to do, you know, 3 flips in the air, which is not humanly possible, you know.
Right.
So, you know, doing some wire work and different things like that, it's good to get some training in that too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's very important, because you can get severely hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people think, I mean, it's interesting how I think a lot of people that want to go into Hollywood, they're martial artists, they're boxers, whatever, they're MMA guys, whatever it is, they want to get into Hollywood. They don't understand that it takes a lot of work.
It does.
You know, when you went on your, you know, you've done movies. Okay, you've done TV shows, films during your career. You were either acting or you were in a stunt woman role. You know, it took a lot of work for you to get to that point. What was it like when you first went on the set, so that our listeners can get an idea of really what is involved here?
Well, the first time I got a job, it was working on the next Karate Kid film that Hilary Swank starred in. And Pat Johnson, who's a good friend of mine, he was doing the stunt choreography and the fight choreography for the movie. And he had a stunt woman that was doing a lot of the different stunts, you know, jumping over a car and doing some other stunts like that. But when it came to the actual fight scenes, you know, she was a martial artist, but she may not have been of a high rank or of world champion status, you know. So Mr. Johnson wanted to get someone that was, you know, extremely fast and just really wanted to make the fight scene look outstanding. So he had called me in and asked me if I was willing to, you know, double for Hillary, which was, you know, of course, you know.
Yeah, sure.
So that was my first job, and, you know, I had no idea what to expect. It was nice that I was working with somebody that I knew, with him, so he definitely put me at ease and showed me the ropes. But there's a lot to learn as far as all the lingo, as far as, you know, when do you start your movement? Is it on action? Is it on rolling? Is it on, you know, hitting your mark and going exactly where they want you to finish your last move and land in front of the camera? You know, the camera right, camera left, the first AD and the second AD and the producer and the director and who you talk to on different things. And so there was a lot of learning to be involved on that first film I ever did. And I never realized that it worked so hard, you know, the minimum of a 12-hour day. So, you know, doing the acting and stuff, I'm sure it's mentally consuming and tiring. But when you're doing physical stuff and it's that long, you know, you're pretty tired by the end of the day and definitely need that hot tub so you can be out there rolling again the next day.
Makes when people listening to this, it'll make them appreciate all the hard work that does go into an action film, or even acting in general.
Yeah.
But definitely the action part of it, because with the physical activity and you're doing it so repetitive, you may shoot a scene, you know, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times before you get it right.
Right. And a lot of times it's not even a matter of you doing it wrong or, you know, and making a mistake. I mean, those things happen too. I mean, no one's perfect. Mistakes are made, whether it's from you or from another stunt person or somebody, or even the camera guy just, you know, doesn't get in the right position or whatever. But a lot of times if you could do it perfect and you're still going to do it, you know, 10, 15 times.
Sure.
That one particular, you know, maybe 15-second combination you're going to do that many times because they want to get it from all different angles. They want to get close-ups of your opponent. They want to get close-ups of you. They want to get, you know, the overhead shot where they have the whole fight scene in there and just all the different angles and different things. So just getting it right, you're going to do it a lot of times. Then you have the factor of, you know, someone makes a little mistake and you have to do it over. So, and it's amazing that something that's maybe a 2-minute fight scene on television could be filmed for days, you know, and that kind of shocked me. I mean, you would think that a 2-minute thing maybe would take a few hours, but it does take a long time.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You know, and now after your job is done, then it's a lot of fun for the editing department.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you look at it, as far as a major film being an hour and a half or 2 hours long, but they generally take, you know, a good 3 months to film the movie. You know, so when you look at it that way, and they're putting 12-hour days in, you know, it's amazing on how long it takes to film all that stuff and how many different angles they want to get and stuff.
Sure, even a simple documentary, you can have, you know, 30, 40 hours of filming just to have an hour and a half documentary.
Right.
You know, it's just a lot of stuff involved. Now with your school and your students, do you have any students right now that are kind of drifting towards the Hollywood scene?
Well, we have had some younger students in the past that did some work on a couple commercials and stuff. Yeah, actually, my husband even played a bad guy in one of them. So we do have that. My son actually has a small role in a movie that we're doing. I'm actually the fight choreographer in the film because it's a kids movie. So I'm not in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera on this one and doing that work, and my husband's producing it. The movie's called Calico, and was scheduled to shoot that before the end of the year. And my son has a small role with some of our big national competitor kids, which is Dana Ewer and Tyler Weaver, and Caitlin Deschelle will also be in the film. So we have some really top competitors out there that are going to be in this movie.
That's excellent.
And, yeah, so you know, a lot of them, they're always out there, you know, working with me and wanting to learn how to do, you know, some of the stunts and different things like that. And they're always 100% ready to go if something comes up.
Oh, it's good because you're guiding them on the right path. If they're looking to get into Hollywood, at least they can learn from the best.
Right.
And
I
that's
actually have one of our black belts, Jesse Goldberg, is he was a member of the Paul Mitchell team, but he went to school for film, and it's amazing how much work he's constantly working over here in New England. You would think, he would not have much work and need to be out in California, but he's constantly working. I mean, between the Brotherhood and, all the big films that have been done over here, TV or film. So he's, we hardly ever see him at the school anymore because he's working around the clock on these movies and TV shows around here. So that's great.
Well, that's good. He keeps busy, but that just shows that there is opportunity other than California.
Right.
Like you don't need to go to California to be a film star or a TV star. It's not all about Hollywood.
Right.
So that's the big thing. So that's good stuff. Now, Chris, are you right now working on any TV work, some film work? Are you doing any commercials or anything?
Well, we're doing that movie Calico, which we filmed the trailer for it in the summertime.
Is that available on YouTube or something?
You know what? I'm not sure if the trailer is on YouTube. I'm not positive, but it's Calico. Calico is the name of the movie. It might be out on there. We showed it at the U.S. Open down in Florida, the trailer and stuff, and it came out very good.
Okay.
We filmed it a couple months ago, the trailer, and supposed to film the movie before the end of the year. And I'm also just shot the first episode of the trailer for America's Top Martial Artist, and just saw the premiere out in New York last week. Thursday night they showed the premiere out there, and they're hoping that somebody's going to pick that TV show up. It's very similar to the America's Top Dancer or whatever the name of the couple shows that are out there. The reality show, and I was one of the judges rather than being one of the competitors this time, so that was a lot of fun.
It's a little different being on that end of the table as opposed to being on stage.
Someone asked me if I was the Paula Abdul with the axe kick.
there you go. And you can give that smirk, and then you can make your jokes too. And but minus the dizziness.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, because you are deep-seated in the world of martial arts, and right now you have mixed martial arts. That painting the town red in the world of martial arts, it's like it's interesting how that is more popular than anything. And there are a number of new product lines coming out: drinks, clothing, equipment, all types of stuff from new and existing companies in that realm. Now, I know you're working with Macho, and that's you have a very good relationship with them, but are you open to working with some of these manufacturers that are coming out with these new products?
Yes, I'm definitely interested. Definitely keep that door open. I mean, I've worked with Macho for 15 plus years, and definitely believe in their products, and I have helped design products for them. I test it out on my students, and we go for the best comfort and style, but something that's very protective. And I'm also come out with my own clothing line with them, which is very exciting. But as far as if it was products like power drink, health drinks, or just something that did not conflict and be the same thing that Macho would sell, I would definitely be interested in helping out and representing our company too.
Oh, so if it was like a new drink coming out, some energy drink, you would be definitely open for that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Now I know you just talked about your one of your upcoming event, your main one, but are there any other events that you have going on, seminars, tournaments that you're involved with beyond your big one? We run
a few cream tournaments throughout the year. We have our cream nationals in November. There's some different places I'm going to be traveling to do seminars. I have one scheduled in October in New York, and I believe it's in the Bronx. And I think I have one in Florida also in October, and keeping busy with doing the seminars and being a special guest or doing a demonstration at somebody's tournament and stuff like that. So there's quite a bit coming up, and then I think after the World Championships, my husband's taking a team over to France.
Nice.
In November, the end of November, and then I think we get like a month and a half break, and then the tournament circuit starts back up again.
Yeah, then you're busy again.
Right.
Because people don't understand it's not seasonal. So
Right.
so these competitors, they're working around the clock, getting prepared for these tournaments. So they're in one in August. They may be one end of August. They may be involved in one in September, and so on and so forth. It all depends.
Right. And I'll be going to Alan Goldberg's event in January in Atlantic City, as I do every year.
Yeah, my buddy Alan Goldberg. He's a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he runs the largest martial arts event on the planet, I believe, because it is huge. That dinner is, I think it's like 14 to 2,000 people deep. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's an amazing time. Anyone that hasn't gone, if they have the opportunity, this is something that they would probably not be able to repeat in their life.
Right. I mean, you have the opportunity to meet so many martial arts celebrities there and to train with them, and also to visit a lot of vendors and,
Sure.
see all kinds of different products and stuff that are out there.
I know he just confirmed that Jeff Speakman will be there as well.
Oh, great.
So that's interesting. And, again, this is his 10th anniversary.
Yes.
A decade of doing this. It's amazing.
Oh, I know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to quite a few. I mean, I don't think I was at the very first few, but, I've been there every year. So, I don't even know, the last 5 years or so. And, I've enjoyed it every time. I mean, I've had a great time. And a lot of those people are my friends. So I get to hang out for the weekend with, Cynthia and Don Wilson and, all the different friends that I have. And
Bill Wallace is there.
Right.
Joe Piscopo is going to be there. Phil Morris. Chuck Zito, of course, will be there. And a bunch of other, I don't have the list, but I know a lot of top martial arts superstars will be there. So it's definitely something to... It's something that you'll never forget. For the listeners, if they do attend, they'll never forget that experience, because you can't do that. It's a reunion of superstars. That's what it comes down to. And I know that he has some other surprises lined up. So let's see as time goes on. Now, are you involved in any charitable organizations? Does your school do anything with any charitable organizations in particular?
We don't really support one in particular. I've done a lot of different fundraisers to help different organizations out, whether it was pick-a-thons or break-a-thons or just different things in general, doing seminars to help raise money. But probably the one that we've supported the most is Chuck Norris's Kick Drugs Out of America. That one is probably, he came into our tournament a couple of times as a special guest, and we helped raise well over $100,000 with some of the local schools and our school. And what we did with that money, when we presented it to him, to Chuck Norris, this organization that he has basically is throughout Texas and I believe Chicago, and he has expanded to some other areas too. And what they do is they use that money to pay for the karate instructors in the school system. So these inner city kids that, would normally not be able to afford karate. But in place of gym, what they're doing is they take, karate in school, and there's some very strong guidelines where they can't get involved in gangs. They have to have passing grades. And it's really, those are the type of kids that really need to take karate. But in the everyday world, they don't have the funds to do that through a karate school. So It's a great organization, and we put it that very heavy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And a lot of people don't realize, as rough and tumble Chuck Norris is, he is the nicest guy. He's a sweetheart. And, there are a lot of things that he does to help the youth and help the community, and this is one of them. And I'm so happy to hear that you're involved with that, because you're helping the youth. And as you know, I'm the founder of Karate Kids Online, so that's what we do with that. Is we try to show a positive image for the youth of martial arts, the youth in general, and stuff like that is highly important, because that's our future. Now, Chris, we went over a lot of things, so now it's your turn. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or plug? Because right now the floor is totally yours.
Oh, boy. No, I think you've covered just about everything out there.
Okay. Oh, that's good. No, so we covered everything, so I did a good job.
Yes, you did.
Excellent. All right, Chris, I want to thank you so much for taking time for this interview. It was insightful. It was great. As you know, I hold you in the highest regard, not only for what you've achieved in your martial arts career or in your personal life, but what you do for the kids, and that is of the utmost importance, just in my eyes. And you're going to continue to do this, for the rest of your life, I'm assuming. But I am certain that your career will continue to evolve, and you'll continue to lay the path for others to follow as you have done. And again, I want to thank you once again.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Christine, trust me when I tell you, it was our pleasure. And thank you again. And for our listeners, here are a few movies that Christine Bannon-Rodrigues actually was involved with as an actress. 27 Dresses, you're probably familiar with that. Sci-Fighter with Don the Dragon Wilson. Bad Blood, Battle of Brothers, Dragon Star Rematch, Ladies' Night. As far as stunts are concerned, in 2007, she was involved with Underdog, and she was also involved in Mortal Kombat Conquest, Shadow of Doubt, Batman and Robin, and her first gig, The Next Karate Kid. And for those that want to, get more information as far as her school, her and her husband's school, you can go to www.donrodriguez, that's with an S, Don Rodriguez, karateacademy.com. Go there, find out about them. They're in Warwick, Rhode Island. Great people, and they breed champions. So if you are in that area and you want to really get involved in martial arts, this is the place to be. That's the Don Rodriguez Karate Academy. They are the home of the champions. And that's about it. Until next time, this is Lou with UCW Radio, and we hope to bring you some more exciting guests as the weeks go by.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.